Hey yo, what is good, guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to NextGen Wealth Tips. Today we're going to be looking at some news and some charts and telling you guys where the market is going. So to start off, we are pretty much almost green for the day. For most stocks, we got Nvidia moving at 5%. Nvidia is probably moving the most today. We got Apple. Apple has a little rebound. I'm not even gonna lie. We're gonna be looking at that later on the charts. Microsoft, Google, all up like 2 to 3%. But there's another one that's Tesla. When we talk about Tesla right now, we are kind of going into a bearish trend for the day. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit later and kind of where it's going to go and kind of like the future for it. But we also got some other stocks like Walmart up almost 2%, Amazon up almost 2%, and Broadcom up almost 2%. But yeah, so let's get started with some news. Before I start, I just want to say the most active stock on Yahoo is Nvidia, and we also got SoundHound AI. These are the two stocks that I recommend looking at on this list. SoundHound AI is basically an AI like voice over. I'm using it right now, literally, and then Nvidia just makes the chips. But Nvidia is moving today. It is a strong buy. SoundHound is a buy. But with that being said, this article basically says that we will see a final snapshot of the labor market before the next Fed's meeting, the 30th of this month. So basically, Jerome basically said the overall market or labor market is good. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate is expected to hold steady at 4.2%. Friday afternoon, markets were pricing in just an 11% chance of rate cuts this upcoming meeting. So get ready for the upcoming meeting. Honestly, we're going to see if we're going to get some rate cuts or not. And yeah, with that being said, this is a kind of like a catalyst for Tesla. So Italy plans to do like a deal of $1.6 billion, and I think it's 1.6 billion euro or 1.5 billion euro with SpaceX and Telecom. They're basically teaming up to basically work out like their telephone deals and stuff like that. But with that being said, basically this deal is to provide secure communications for the nation's government, the largest such project in Europe. So basically, this is just for like the government in Italy to kind of communicate. But if you guys didn't know, in the Ukraine right now, they're actually using similar things with the internet and stuff like that with Tesla stuff. Okay, we were talking about this just a second ago, but now Tesla is down. We also want to talk about some bearish trends that's going on later on. So basically, ticker symbol PYCR and PAYX. They're basically just buying their company, basically, but they're kind of just buying their smaller rival. Another thing is the iPhone supplier TDK is rolling out a new battery to enhance AI in phones. It is basically to help out the power demands in the AI phones itself. So basically, kind of keep this on your mind for the stock because they're about to come out with new batteries. And kind of I talked about Nvidia a little bit. Nvidia has been jumping a bunch. It is up 5% now. The CEO kind of has a keynote to kind of talk about like the upcoming chips. They're also going to talk about Blackwell a little bit more, future orders, future products. They got something for gaming and AI. So we're going to be learning about that. So the stock's up like 5% now, and then it's probably going to be up even more if he kind of like overhypes everything, if he gives us some promising news for investors and stuff like that. But with that being said, I'm sorry, I'm kind of off with the news. But with that being said, let's look at the market. Oh, it's up again. What's going on? Basically, Tesla is showing a constant downward trend just for today. Kind of bearish momentum right now. It is below VWAP and it is also below the 20 moving day average. So with that being said, we did start on like a decent uptrend back from the dip from the numbers. We've been kind of on an upward trend as you can see with this day, but then now today, even pre-market, we had some bullish. We were kind of bullish pre-market, and then now we've kind of been bearish this whole time, this whole day, and now we're falling. I think 410 was a key level, and now we broke past the 410. So next we're looking at 406 to all the way down to the 400 level. With that being said, it might bounce off the 406. It might even bounce off the 410 right now, but we might retest it later on and probably bounce down below it more. But right now I'm pretty bearish for it for the day. But at the same time, we might just see like tomorrow, like pre-market, it goes back up. We don't have any bad news quite yet. I don't really use this one, but I just want to see this kind of new news. I don't really use TradingView for news, but I kind of just looked at it quickly. But it is maintained as at a buy. So it is still showing bullish news, but at the same time, we're just down for today, and we might be just breaking levels. So we did break the 410 now, which is pretty quick. So we're looking at the 406 now, and then maybe testing the 400. I don't think it's going to get below 400 today. It might bounce off the 400 and start going up again, but that might be like pre-market type style, or later on. But we're gonna talk about Apple because Apple did make a recovery. Honestly, I didn't think Apple was gonna make a recovery this fast, but we did have a constant, like a decent 5 minute candle right here going up, but then a big sell off, and then now we're kind of making higher highs, and we're kind of looking bullish on Apple once again. I recommend getting a 250 call for this week, and even for a 2 week, maybe get like a 2 week 250 call. It's pretty cheap too. I think it was like $75 when I was looking at it earlier. I think I got one. I got like three of them at like this sell off right here, and it was like I think it was like $60, and I got three of them for that price. That being said, I'm gonna hold it until maybe tomorrow because I got it for this week, so I don't want the DTE to get. But I'm looking at Apple at the 250 level and maybe getting up to the 254 level. I think earlier we were actually up like way more. We were actually at like the 259 level, almost breaking that 260 level. We might try to retest that 260 level later on, but right now we're kind of looking at the small numbers right now, 250, 254. Maybe 254 might be like the max that we can get this week, maybe next week. So that's what I'm looking at the upside. But right now, we're looking pretty bullish right now. So with that being said, let's look at NVIDIA because NVIDIA is on a constant rise, but at the same time, we did kind of bounce off the 152 level. So I think for the rest of the day and until tomorrow, we're going to be looking at that 152 as a key line to break. So if it breaks above 152, we're going to be looking at 153 and then maybe even 155. And then I don't think we can hit 160 unless he comes out with good news, but I think that the keynote's at like 6 p.m. Eastern time, I think. So we got to wait until that. But with that being said, if he doesn't come out with good news, honestly, I mean, you know how the charts move. Probably gonna break past the 147. We might be all the way back down to like 144. But I think he's not going to. I don't think Nvidia really. I think the difference between this isn't really like earnings because earnings, I think they have to like break expectations for earnings. But I think this, they just need to make the investors happy basically. So if they make investors happy, you can see the stock go up. So SPY, honestly, we're almost close to that 600 level. I think for tomorrow, we'll be looking at that 600 level. I was kind of looking at it today, but honestly, since Tesla's kind of dying out, I think we're not really gonna hit it. I'm not saying it's only Tesla, but Tesla kind of sold off. It was at like 420 earlier. I think like 424 or something like that. But we do have Nvidia and Apple growing, so I think if we can get some positive numbers from Tesla and some more positive numbers from Nvidia, we can break that 600 level. With that being said, after we break that 600 level, I look at the 601 and then 602. I think 602 might be the max for this week, but maybe later on in the week we might get 604. But to the downside, if we start seeing stocks sell off and we start going back into that bearish trend, sell offs and stuff like that, then we're going to be looking at that 598, 597, 596. But just like how stocks normally move, we might not see as bullish trend tomorrow, Tuesday. We might see it like if it doesn't break the 600 yet, it might bounce off the 600 tomorrow, starting off the day, maybe 598, 597, and then you might see it bounce back up, retest that 600, or even break that 600. That's kind of how the stocks move, but I'm not gonna try and like estimate it. That's just my predictions. Bitcoin, we finally hit that 100K. I said it, I think yesterday, that we're going to break that 100K just because we were just showing such a bullish trend on Bitcoin. I might have called it something else. I don't remember. I'm tired. But with that being said, we're at 102K. So I think honestly, if this bullish trend still hits, I think people are kind of anticipating Trump right now. I think that I seen like a news article on that. So with that being said, we're probably going to see Bitcoin maybe even hit that 104 and maybe even test the highs. So just keep this on your mind if you're trading stocks. I only mentioned Bitcoin because I mentioned MSTR next, which kind of moves with Bitcoin. So basically, I'm not even going to lie. MSTR kind of reminds me of an option trade because previously, when we were at like 102,000, we were probably at like 400, like the 400 level, probably at like the 400 level to the 420 level when we were at 100K before, but now that we're at 100K, we're still below that 360 level. So MSTR kind of seems like it's like dying out a little bit from Bitcoin, but I think Bitcoin just has to hit new highs once again. So I think if we can hit new highs, we can hit the 400 level with this. But honestly, I'm kind of like I really want to get into the stock, but I think now we have to look at our new levels right now. So I think wait until Bitcoin maybe dies out a little bit, maybe buy it at the 350 level, all the way back down to that 300 level we were at. But I think Bitcoin really has to die out to hit that 300 level again. But with that being said, I think I would definitely try to get into the stock maybe at the 340 level, just because it maintained it a little bit. But with that being said, I think I'll look at MSTR at the 340 level, or I might be tripping, and this might honestly just be the low that we get in the next, like tomorrow we might be at 400, but it honestly moves with Bitcoin just because they buy so much Bitcoin. And if you guys really don't know too much about MSTR, I don't know honestly too much about what the stock did before. I totally forgot, but they're basically just been loading up on Bitcoin, and that's kind of what's been building their stock up now. I think before Bitcoin started breaking that like 90K to 100K, they were kind of below $100, and now they're breaking that 400. I think we hit like 550 at one point when Bitcoin started rising a lot. But with that being said, let's look at Broadcom. Broadcom, we honestly had, I mean, a little bit of a bullish trend at first, but then now we're kind of consistently dying. So now we're kind of looking bearish. It might break it soon. It is below VWAP and it is below the 20 MA. So just be careful with that. Palantir is another one. We almost hit the $80, but we bounced off the 80. So I think tomorrow is looking at that 80 level once again. I think we might be able to test it again. We even we even broke off it a little bit, just a little bit here, but it's kind of just been bouncing off of that. So I think honestly, a buy opportunity for this stock might be the 78 level. You can maybe wait and see if you can get at the 77. It bounced off the 77. So maybe you can buy it at 77, let it bounce back up, and you can get it $3 in the money once again. This stock is kind of moving fast. Like $3 is pretty fast for this stock, but it's kind of just bouncing right now. So I think just watching it and just seeing what it does is my recommendation for Palantir. It is getting more contracts. I think it just got a new contract recently, so I recommend looking at that. Another one I want to look at is AMD, because I think a few days ago I actually told you guys to buy it at the one, or see what happens at the 120, and it did bounce off the 120. As you can see, it kind of bounced off it here too, but I think it bounced off the 120, and we got like $10 in the money with that. So with that being said, I recommend just watching what AMD kind of does, but we're kind of getting some bullish momentum with AMD, but it's kind of just fluctuating now. So I recommend just waiting and seeing what it does. Maybe waiting until it hits that 125 level once again, and then let it retest that 130 once again. So I recommend just seeing what it does at the 130. If it bounces past the 130, I look at the 131, 133, and then I think 135 is going to be a key level. It might bounce off the 135 and then keep going up. So I think we're just going to keep on seeing it bounce off some levels and then just break past it later on, just depending on news and everything like that. With that being said, I want to look at Rivian too, because honestly, I was kind of bullish on Rivian, but now it is kind of showing a bearish trend. With their numbers, they broke expectations, so they had a big rise, but now it's kind of dying out. So recommend looking at it to the downside just for now. It might bounce off the $15 level, so I recommend looking at the $15 level. If it breaks below the $15 level, it might break back down, maybe maintain that 14 level, or even just be at that 13 level like we were the other day. Or if we can get maybe some good news or more investors kind of happy with this stock, we might even see it start going back up and maybe maintaining the $19 level. I don't know yet though. I'm not really too sure about the stock. Didn't really look at it too much today, but I just noticed how it just bounced earlier. But with that being said, I just want to say be careful while trading. Good luck trading tomorrow. Monday is that day that you kind of set up your week. You don't want to lose on a Monday. But with that being said, thank you for watching the video. Smash that like button, subscribe if you guys are new. I put a lot of time and effort into these videos. I'm also coming out with a penny stock video today too, so go check that out. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Love you guys. Peace out.